Gunners earn Champions League semi-final spot after nervous draw at the Emirates. Match report as Arsenal edge into the Champions League semi-finals, where they will meet Atletico Madrid. Arsenal take on Manchester City on Sunday in Premier League clash that could decide title, live on Sky. Noni Madueke came off with knee injury. Arsenal could rely on their one-goal aggregate lead to earn them a spot in the Champions League semi-finals against Atletico Madrid after a goalless draw against Sporting at the Emirates. The Gunners were hoping to bounce back from their weekend Bournemouth defeat, with Mikel Arteta saying he and his Arsenal side were full of fire and had no fear ahead of the game. However, having mustered just a single shot on target at a nervous Emirates, Arsenal go into Sunday's potential Premier League title decider against Manchester City, live on Sky Sports, having failed to offer much confidence. Arteta will see the draw as a fine result to set up their trip to the Etihad, as Arsenal secured back-to-back Champions League semi-finals for the first time in the club's history. Having lost 3 of the last 4, there was a clear lack of confidence at the Emirates that translated into a cagey start that sustained throughout the game. Sporting looked the more likely of the two sides, coming closest when Gini Catamo struck the post on the brink of half-time. After the break, Sporting again smelled blood, but failed to muster anything to really challenge David Raya, who was the embodiment of Arsenal's nerves. On a couple of occasions, the Portuguese side spurned chances gifted to them by the Spanish stopper. While the results won't be of much concern for Arteta ahead of the weekend, he will be anxiously waiting on a prognosis for Noni Madueke, who went down holding his knee after a challenge from Pedro Goncalves. Max Daumann, who replaced the Arsenal winger, could be an option to replace Madueke should he not pass fit for the weekend, and add to their ever-growing injury list. It's a massive moment. It's the first time in our history, 140 years, we are in back-to-back Champions League semi-finals. To be part of those 4 teams is very special. You have to earn it. A lot of work, big gratitude to the players. It was always going to be a difficult game. We had moments in the first half where we probably should have scored. There are moments with the ball where we have to improve a lot, to have more control, dominance, and finish many more actions. Our behaviours, attributes, efforts, the team was outstanding, and that's what takes you through. Arteta praises Rice and gives Madueke update. Asked if he got the fire he had called for pre-match, Arteta said, "Yes, 100%, especially in moments of difficulty, when we give the ball away. In circumstances that are not very much like us. How willing everybody is. Declan yesterday, he was shattered. He had no chance to play today. He wasn't feeling good at all today. Every single player is putting everything on the line to contribute, to give their best." Pushed for an update on Noni Madueke's injury, Arteta added, "I don't know. It was something in his knee, so we had to take him off." Arsenal set up a Champions League semi-final against Atletico Madrid with a 0-0 home draw against Sporting CP, enough to seal a 1-0 aggregate victory over the Portuguese champions. Kai Havertz's late strike in Lisbon last week proved to be the difference in the tie, with both sides struggling to make much of an impact during a scrappy return encounter at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday night. After the disappointment of the defeat against Bournemouth on Saturday, there was a need for a response from the Gunners, and they started well, with Eberechi as really bright behind the front 3. But Arsenal couldn't take advantage of the quick start, with chances few and fair between the hosts during an opening 45 minutes, which ended with Sporting hitting the post through Gini Catamo. The second half did improve slightly from an Arsenal point of view, with Leandro Trossard hitting the post late on and Gabriel Jesus going close. But with Mikel Arteta's side typically solid at the back, they ultimately didn't need to find a goal on the night, with the 0-0 draw being enough to send them through to the Final Four for a second successive season. David Raya 6/10 played one really risky pass in the first half that could have been punished. Marshalled his box well when crosses came his way, but didn't have much to do from a shot-stopping point of view. Christian Mascara 7/10, brought in for White at right back. Solid at the back, but his impact going forward was minimal. William Saliba 7/10, another good battle with Suarez, who was a handful again, but Saliba dealt with it well. Gabriel Magalhaes 7/10, strong performance in the heart of the defence. Piero Hincapi 7/10, good to see him back in the she, looked fit, which was a positive, got up and down well. Martin Zubimendi 8/10, best performance in a while, especially in the first half. Looked much sharper than of late and looked to drive forward when he could. Impressive. Declan Rice 7/10, took an early whack on the ankle, which seemed to impact him for a while, but dusted himself down and produced a typically solid display. Ebrechiez 7/10, Arsenal's brightest attacker by a distance. Started really well, and almost everything good Arsenal did in attack came through him. Faded after the break as tiredness crept in. Noni Madwek 3/10, really poor. Struggled with his touch all night and didn't take advantage of finding plenty of space. Victor Gyökeres 3/10, not a night he will remember against his former club. Technically, he was really poor, and it was no surprise to see him replaced before the hour mark. Gabriel Martinelli 5/10, probably the best of the front three, but that's nothing to shout home about. Couldn't make much of an impact, but did put in a good shift.